All right, guys, thank you for joining me again tonight, third night in a row. Hopefully you can hear me, but let's make it a little better. Five by five. Thank you, Tia, Adam. Appreciate it. Dobie, Joe F, Ozark. Shit, that jumped. Lisa, Elaine, WTC, Williams, Vizard, Smoke and Swamp, Adriana, thank you for the 5x5. Dan Phillips, Prep to Adapt. Eric, Tony, Loretta, Jane, Devin, Carrie, Kathy, Nick, thank you for the 5x5. Keeble, TMC, Chaotic. Bad Botter, thank you for the 5x5. B Spooky, Tim. Evolving Media, guys, thank you for the 5x5. Grit and Grace, Frank. Smoke and Swamp again, Maverick. WR, thank you for the 5x5. Maria, Revolutionary. Sergeant 1 Bravo, thank you for the 5x5. All right. And Bush Pig. Misha, thank you for the 5x5. All right, guys. And Jason, thank you for the Whiskey by Whiskey. So, tonight is going to be, obviously, we're going to focus on how not to die. Though that is a hard statement to actually follow through on, meaning not dying. During the apocalypse, guys, there's a million and one things that can go on. Right? Pamela, Nancy, thank you for the 5x5. Sil, thank you for the 5x5. And Single Dad, thank you for the 5x5. There was somebody else here, and I fucking missed it. Well, whoever I missed, I apologize. Excuse me. Oh, Shusuk. Or I guess. All right, and You the Man. You the Man 18. Thank you for the 5x5. So, again, tonight, for some reason, guys, I have a wicked headache. And this time, it's been all day. I didn't eat till probably 3 o'clock, and the headache started. So I thought maybe it was because I ate something salty the other day. I had a headache, and today it's really it's not kicking my ass. It's annoying. That's all it is. So excuse the slow retard speaking tonight. It's probably going to be worse than it was during the Angry Truth the other day. I did take 2 Advils when I got up because I did take a nap to see if it would go away. Clearly it fucking didn't. So whatever. Suck it up. Get on with the show. Could be allergies. Hydrate. I think it might be salt, but I had... What the fuck did I have last night? I don't know. Whatever. It could be the salt. Because as I started getting hungry, my headache started to develop. Then when I got home, I was okay. It was still there. And then it just got insanely worse when I got up from my nap. So, and I ate. So I'll be pounding water for the next hour to see if it goes away. Anyway, it's probably just old age. Who the fuck knows? But Christian Prepper, thank you for that. He said the Angry Film Critic last night was great. Simple dude. I figured that's what it was, but I had a cheeseburger and french fries earlier. Now, that's not the kind of salt you want. You actually want either sea salt or pink salt in your water. Nonetheless, I thought the salt would alleviate the problem, but it didn't. It could be my chair. My chair could be telling me to go fuck myself. It could be that too. But anyway, enough of the diagnosing of what I might have. All right. Roger that. I read the text message. So, with that, guys, a lot of things, I mean, a multitude of things could go down especially during the beginning of whatever apocalypse happens, right? So, like Mad Max, the original one, the first one, society started falling apart in the movie. And then things got like worse, I guess, between Mad Max and Road Warrior. Clearly it did, right? Because then nuclear war broke out, and then things spiraled out of control even further. So the one thing about the apocalypse that, again, not just watching the movie, but looking at society, knowing what we know, looking at situations develop, we could be in the beginning of an apocalyptic society like Mad Max, the first one, again, with Mel Gibson. What was that, 1979 and 1978? So, looking at that and then watching how things decline, we could very well be in that beginning stages, watching everything going on. Watching everything going on. Cat, you mean Venezuela chicken. Very good. So, I mean, again, look at what's going on in, what is that, Springfield, Ohio, with the animals being eaten. Now, the one thing I don't understand, and I'm having a hard time understanding, something is wrong even with that. If, guys, you are, even if you're eating these animals, even if you're taking these pets home for lunch, right, as someone put it, to make a hot lunch for yourself, even if you're doing that, you're taking it home, and then cooking it up. The videos I'm seeing, these people, thank you, Mr. Landfill, 1979 was Mad Max, the original. Right, so I was, what was that, a year off? I said 78, right? Anyway, even if you're doing that, guys, you're taking it home, behind closed doors, in your backyard perhaps. But these people are doing it in the street. The one video I saw, a guy was carving a cat, or skinning it, in the street, in somebody's driveway. It wasn't his driveway. So something is not making sense. And then the one video, guys, the most important video that's leading to me believe something else is going on, is the video with the lady. Now, let's go Liberty. Yes, there was a guy who's a Haitian dude who wasn't, I think he was born there, but he was raised here. He did a video on it, like a maybe a minute or 2 minute long video, and he talked about how a lot of that stuff is done for voodoo reasons. It still doesn't make sense that you would do it out in the open. So again, that video that I'm talking about, the important video, there's something wrong with the lady who was, I guess, caught in the act by her neighbors, and her neighbors called the cops, and the cops showed up, and the cop on body cam shows blood in her teeth. Takes a picture with that camera that they walk around with, just a regular camera, so that they can snap shots of certain things at the moment, whatever it is. And then takes a picture of her face, takes a picture of teeth, and goes, get in the car. Like, this is stupid. And then turns to the people and goes, did you guys see her eating the cat? And they go, no, but she was laying next to it with blood on her face. Now, the guy who's making a hot lunch out of the cat in the driveway, the next scene was him cooking it up. It was burnt to a crisp. I don't know how good that's going to taste. I don't even know why you would eat cat, especially in this climate, when you could just go to the supermarket and get something to eat. Hell, man, if you were that hard up and eating something raw, you can get yourself a piece of beef. A raw piece of beef must taste better than cat any given day of the week. There is something, Carol, there is something demonic about it. And if you look at that video, you look at her eyes, something was missing. She was missing. Something was gone in this lady. I couldn't figure it out. I was just like, she had the 40-yard stare, but something else. Again, you'll find it on Twitter or X or Instagram. And the guy sauteing his cat for a hot lunch, that's also on Instagram and X as well. So something is up. And it's just not making sense. The behavior of people is not making sense. People carrying on, screaming for no reason. I mean, I watched a video of a guy, clearly a dude, trying to pass himself off as a chick. Roadside camper, exactly. Lady cat, exactly. Oh, cat lady, sorry. Exactly. Something was up. It was like she wasn't there. And when he asked her, why did you do it? She didn't answer. No, did you eat the cat? And she didn't answer. Why did you do it? She goes, I don't know. That's when I was like, yo, something's up. Something is definitely amiss. When she didn't answer the first question, but the second question, she was like, I don't know why I did it. And you could see the look on her face, like the soul was missing, but there was also a bit of confusion there. Timothy Green, I know what the voodoo witchcraft is. Now, with that being said, this video is probably going to get demonetized because I'm talking about this. If not, probably delete it or my channel delete it. Because they, like I said before, guys, they are deleting channels that are talking about this or hitting them with too much facts that they're actually backing up. And there is numerous videos of this now. Especially the guy, I guess he was Venezuelan. He was walking away with looked like a seagull. I don't know how good a seagull tastes. Can't be that good. But a lady intervened and took the seagull from him. So someone said arm ticket. I don't know. I don't know, but something's definitely up. And whatever it is, guys, I don't want to get all religious and shit, but whatever it is, it's spreading slow enough to have people believe it's not happening, but those of us who are paying attention are paying close attention to what is going on. So I do notice that. Like I said, something is definitely off. Now, again, the guy that I was talking about with the video where he was screaming at this dude, and he was trying to dress like a chick, but he sounded like the only man, right? He's screaming at this guy for no reason. And then the guy who's like interviewing him, it's not really an interview. He wasn't breaking his balls, but he had a mic in his hand, and the guy started to walk away. The interviewer, the reporter, let's call him a reporter. He starts walking away, and the he-she dude is like, get away from me, walk away now. And then the guy who's pretending to be a chick proceeds to walk across the fucking yard or whatever it is to him to tell him to walk away. And I'm like, that didn't make any sense. That made zero sense. Someone said the seagull incident was in Howard Beach. I figured that. I didn't know. I thought it was here in New York. I didn't know where it was. Thank you for that, Kaiser 88. I don't know how to pronounce that last name, dude. Ozone, Soze, Kaiser Soze. Sorry, 88. My bad, man. Thank you for that. So, I mean, listen, guys, it's out there. And the craziness is like Trump brings it up, and the moderators are like, oh, that was untrue, according to some bullshit in Springfield, Ohio, they asked. So, now, I did a video, and apparently it touched a lot of nerves. So, good job on me. I have no qualms with making people not like me with things that I'm thinking. And that video about the debate, and I'm sorry, about Putin backing Kamala Harris, again, though I think he was being facetious, there's still a lot of issues in him saying that out loud. And a lot of people are like, you don't know what's going on, and he was just joking. He might have been. I think he was. But there are a lot of people who were taking it seriously, and a lot of people who are like, look, communist Putin is backing her up. So, guys, with that, I'm pretty sure he said that because he is already being blamed for Russian interference in the election, and the election hasn't even gone down yet. So, anyway, a lot of people are annoyed at me with that video. Such is life. There's a lot of things, guys, that are just going down, and people are not paying attention to, or they don't give a shit. the attitude of people, guys, from around the world is just getting really bad. I mean, exceptionally bad. And this, guys, is why we have to stay ready to rock and roll, because who the hell knows what's going to happen right now. Margarita? Did I say that right? I am drinking coffee right now. Water and coffee. My blood pressure is normally low, but I will get it checked if it continues when I go to work tomorrow morning. I'll get it checked at work. But, Big Chap, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it, man. Thanks. So, listen, I don't have any, like I said, whatever is going to piss people off, it is. I talk about Trump, people don't like it. I talk about Putin, people don't like it. And I tell people, you know what the fuck? I don't give a fuck. If it's my opinion and it's partially true, I think that's why a lot of the times it does. Like, I personally believe Trump is going to tank his own election. That's my personal opinion. Only time will tell. But like I said, guys, I don't see him winning this election for various reasons. I think that assassination scared the shit out of him. His family is very quiet, with the exception of Melania Trump putting out that video on a deeper investigation on why he was, why there was an attempt on his life. I saw that and I'm like, whoa, she spoke up, but everybody else is fucking radio silence. Anyway, I get a couple days off. I think I have Sunday off. No, I don't have Sunday off. Whatever. I'll take care of it. If I have a headache during the next live stream, I won't do the live stream. I'll lay here like a fucking slug, and I'll try not to do anything. But I don't want my headache and shit like that to be the reason why I don't do a live stream or a video. I'm not a bitch. As you know, I'm not bleeding fucking 7 days a week. It's just a small headache, so I can handle it. But again, guys, listen, I hope I'm wrong about Trump tanking his election. I hope I'm wrong about who's going to win the election. I hope I'm wrong. It's that bad feeling that's in the back of my head that's like, yo, something's not right about a lot. And that's the problem, guys. There's a lot of shit that's not right. There's just things that are not making sense. There are people flipping out over the smallest things now. I'm just like, what the fuck? People are getting out of their cars and punching other people's passenger side windows. Tampon Tim to the rescue. I mean, I'm not understanding it. Walking around here, like I said, I want to do a daytime walkabout here. You guys got to see some of the shit that I'm seeing. I'm just like, again, I was on one of my walks and I'm walking around and I'm like, what is this chick doing? I don't know if she was doing a Macarena. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And I was ready to whip out my phone to start live streaming. Like, you gotta see this shit. It was just incredible shit. Then there's one dude, I think he was doing the electric slide or the worm. He was doing some shit on the sidewalk. I was like, then I keep walking down the street, and there's a guy in the street picking up, I don't know what, because whatever he was picking up wasn't there. And I'm like, trying to use my ultra visions too. Try to tap into my EDPism. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here? I couldn't see it. Adriana, I'm gonna do that Jackson Heights thing next week. I'm gonna pick a day and I'm gonna go out there. I'll let you know when I'm headed out there. But I'm definitely gonna do that during the day. I'm gonna do it at high noon, so that you guys can get a gist of what's going on there, what's going on here. And this is what they don't show you in the city. Obviously, they talk about crime, they talk about drug use, they talk about all of the things going on, but they do not show it to you like they didn't show people what was going on in Philly, that section in Philly, that other YouTubers and TikTokers had to show you what was going on there. But the shit was out of control. But yeah, whatever was going, I mean, listen, I don't know what these people are hard. At least with crackheads, they had personality behind their shit. You know, like, you got it. You were just like, you know, a crackhead was all cracked out and shit, but they had a personality. These things, I don't know what the fuck's going on. Again, I've never seen a drug. I mean, like, not even heroin is this bad, or at least what we're seeing, or the reaction of people and just the things they're doing. Lady was fucking shimmying in a corner. I'm like, what the hell? Am I in the Matrix? Is shit glitching out? I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I heard the Jackson Heights shit's out of control. But, I mean, you know what? I might be able to squeeze it in Saturday. If I come home early in the morning, do what I need to do, I can possibly head out Saturday afternoon and live stream it then. Yes, Kensington. Thank you. It was Kensington. Is that Kensington, Philly? Right? Like Bronx, New York. I think it was Kensington. Whatever. Anyway, guys. With all of these things going on, how you will die during the apocalypse is definitely dictating you get lockjaw from crack. Crack or crank? Trank. Is that what you meant? Because the trank shit is fucking out of control. But I don't know if that's what this is. There is a shooting gallery, if you will, here, right? So it's a legitimate place where people can go and they can shoot up. There's nurses, there are advisors there, there are counselors where you can go in and go, hey, David, and then David will go, hey, Eric, and then like, I'm going to go, hey, hi, man, and then David will be like, all right, man, use room number 5. All right, and you go in room 5, and room 5 is nice. They have aromatic spray in there. There's a mirror in there to watch you fucking crack out or get high and slip into another dimension. They got condoms there for your taking if you want. Don't know why, because these people don't use condoms. They give them fresh needles. Vladimir Putin, thank you for the donation. They have fresh needles for you to, inject yourself freshly with new things. And they probably played mood music in there. It's probably Enya in the background as you're drifting off into sleep, right? I shit you not, this is a real place. And it's down the block. So I got to ask the guy that works there. He's not my buddy, but we know each other. I can go over there and talk to him and see what these people are shooting up. So, thank you for the donation, man. Yeah, you're right about that, Vladimir. Guys won't fight. They'd rather do TikTok videos and the electric slide. But anyway. Yeah, guys. So, they have multiple spots here in New York, and they allow drug use. The problem is on that side of that coin. So a lot of people are not going there because it's packed. There's no more rooms, so they're shooting up in front of the place, off to the side, in between cars, across the street from a school, down the block from me. They're shooting up everywhere and anywhere. There's a block, the hill I walked up when I did my live stream at night, and I showed you all the rats moving around. That block there's a couple that hangs out there during the day. They shoot up there because it's a lot of people not walking up and down it. Only the brave walk up and down blocks like that because everybody else avoids those blocks. With all of that going on, guys, these are the things you will have to contend with during the apocalypse. Now, the apocalypse isn't going to... It's not going to be like the movies. It's not going to be fast. It's going to be a slow burn to it. It's going to be a slow burn to the bottom of that cauldron, I guess. And then it's going to come back up on the other side slowly as shit. Nonetheless, guys, if you are in an apocalyptic situation, the ways you can die are so many. So many ways. One way is, first and foremost, is disease. Depending on what's coming out, what they release, or what naturally comes up, because they keep digging for more things in the in the ice and stuff, and throwing them out and seeing how they react on and under their little microscope and shit. They're things that are buried in dirt. that animals are kicking up, that supposedly erosion is kicking up as well from a lot of rain and climate change and all this other nonsense. Stuff like that can be kicked up and can start the apocalypse. Also, if a pandemic or a situation's that bad and you got bodies dying all around you, you're going to have disease. So that is pretty much the first way you're most likely going to die. Bad water, bad food. If you didn't cycle out your food, you can die from that. Again, with water, there's so many things you could die from. Bad food, there's botulism. And then there's just eating the wrong thing. Like Alicia Silverstone ate on TikTok or whatever it was, and people were concerned for her health. The second way you're most likely going to perish is being attacked by people who want what you have. Now, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Even if you don't have much, but you look like you have something because you have a job, people know that you make money, right? So just an example. I'm a firefighter, and I make a certain amount of money every year. You guys can look it up. I think it's over 100 grand. So people will correlate that with having a lot, which I have a lot of like junk, right? I do have food and water, but they're going to correlate your job with what you might have. So a lot of people don't know I'm prepping. People don't know who I am in this building anyway. But if people know that you were a high-paying lawyer, a doctor, they're going to assume you have a lot of food. And therefore, people are going to attack you for what they think you might have. Now, if you're a prepper, you have it. And they are, in fact, right at that point. But if you're not a prepper, and they want to go after your stuff, because, again, they correlate money with your status, and they correlate your status with you having something in the house. Vladimir Putin, thank you again. Russia donate could get the FBI canceling your channel, likely paid in U.S. I guess. That would be interesting, but thank you. You have that designer office chair. Well, like I said, Keeble, have I punched any Venezuelans? No, and if I did, and it didn't get reported, I wouldn't say anything. But no, I haven't. At least not yet, but it's getting there. Downtown, it's running rampant with them. I mean, just the shit that they're pulling off. Again, they don't focus on people like me. They focus on weaker people, hipsters, children, and old people. Not so much children, but old people and hipsters. Those weak white dudes running around with man buns, those are the guys they focus on. And then the ultra gay black guy that's running around like a fucking chick. Those are the people they focus on. I haven't had to fucking tussle with anybody yet, but it's coming. I just, it's just a matter of time, man. It's just a matter of time. And I know what some of you people are going to say after that comment. Get out of New York City. You got to leave. I am. Listen, the other day, again, my reason for leaving at the end of this year is because I spent an hour the other day looking for parking. So that, again, being that that's my it pisses me off to no end. I gotta fucking get out of the city. But I gotta find a way how to keep the apartment, pay for this, and rent somewhere else. That's the other problem. So I will come up with a solution. I always do. Thank you, Survival Guy, for the donation. Guys, appreciate it as always. So, all right. Sorry. So, with that, guys, being attacked is on the table. And again, just the assumption of you having something is going to get people attacked, especially when they're starving. When people are starving, they become different animals. And I would employ people to go a day or two without eating. And I would call that fasting. But go a couple days without eating and see how you behave. You're going to know quickly who you are when you're hungry. If you can put up without eating for a few days and you can keep your wits about you, and you don't want to turn to a cat or a pigeon and skin it in the middle of the street, you'll be all right. But most people, guys, and starvation, when you get to that level, that's over a few days. Some people's over a few days. Some people can get like that in a week or two. Now, once you get past a week or two, but you're still drinking water, or you're eating, I don't know, kibbles and bits, like small pieces of it, but you're starving, but you're still putting something in your system. There is that. So I'm trying to look up something because I do need to mention it. Also, guys, tonight on the Angry Truth channel, we're going to talk about the digital ID and how that's already been implemented in Australia, but they're going about it in a very peculiar way. Very peculiar way. So, what I do want to mention, guys, is in a couple weeks, the 2024 Fall Self-Reliance Festival, October 5th and 6th, is happening in, down south, sorry. But October 5th and 6th, I'm going to put the link in the chat in a couple minutes. They got a couple workshops. They have a self-reliance boot camp. My eyes are fucking disappearing on me. They have a fight hacker escapology, and they have a suture and wound, which is $325, and they have a VIP treatment, red carpet treatment. They just added that for $450. Again, it's in Camden, Tennessee. If I'm not mistaken, that's like a 10-hour drive from it. But yeah, Camden, Tennessee, October 5th and 6th. 2-day pass is now $95. So again, if you guys can, definitely go. I am speaking at it amongst a bunch of other speakers. I didn't get a chance to look at it, but it's run by Nicole Sauce. She has a YouTube channel as well. Visit her. I'm speaking. Jack Spirko is going to be there, by the way. I've always wanted to meet this man. I've listened to him for years. So that's somebody I'm looking forward to meet. John Willis is going to be there. Amanda Willis, I guess that's his wife. She's going to be there. Bear is showing up to this as well. I was surprised to hear about that. And Toolman Tim Cook is going to be there. I think I met him before. And then Sony Polsky. I don't know who that is. Carrie Tugler, Homestead Resources. If I'm not mistaken, she made, I have it on my table still, but she made this awesome jam that I bought. She'll be there. CJ Kilmer, Joel Riles, and Alan Booker will be there. Becky Cook, Kyle Perulin, I don't know that last name. How to build your TikTok presence, I guess. Jason Bradbart, Alan Booker again, and Hakeem Anwar, Homestead Your Software. Very good. So a lot of us guys will be speaking there. Bear being there is big, so you guys should definitely turn out to that. If you're not turning out for me, at least turn out for him. That's a good guy to listen to speak to. Dan, thank you for the donation, man. I appreciate it. And Survival Guy, again, if I missed you, thank you for the donation. Appreciate it as always, guys. But yeah, listen, I'm excited for it, and I can get to kill two birds with one stone. I get to go down there, and hopefully the leaves are changing by the time I get there, and I could do some photography as well. So I'm definitely going to enjoy my time down there if I can. If I have to rush back to work, that's different, but I should be all right. Yeah, I'm going to stock up on jalapeno spam. 10-4 right away. All about it, man. All right, guys. So, another thing that could get you in very big trouble Robert Winslow. I have no clue what's going on with the banks of NYC. No clue at all. He's going to make me look this shit up right now during a live stream, but I'm curious as well. Because if you... Oh! I do want to talk about something. Let me get through the rest of this live stream. I want to talk about the possible serial killer in New York City. Yes, guys. Things are adding up with the possibility of a... what you call a killer here in New York City. I am I'm a little excited about it. Don't be like, why are you? I think it's interesting that we have a, how you say here, because, well, again, we're gonna get into it in a little bit, but excuse me. NYC Bank takeover. You know, I don't see anything new. Nothing came up. But yeah, a serial killer in New York City. Guys, it's just adding to the nonsense that's going on. I'm just like, yo, this is crazy. Again, so guys, another way that's going to get you in trouble is being too helpful. Unfortunately, guys, a lot of us want to help, especially if you are a Bible thumper, right? If you are into the book, if you're following the Word of God, you definitely want to help people. Now I have to move. Nice. But Millionaire Bachelor, debate me. Why would I debate you? Though I probably could and still win. Millionaire Bachelor. I know exactly who that is. Anyway, being too helpful, guys, will get you in trouble. It's as simple as that. Because, again, when people become desperate, especially when it comes to kids, they're going to do some crazy shit, guys. Crazy shit. When people are hungry or thirsty, especially thirsty, they're going to do some crazy shit. When people want a safe place for their family, they will do some crazy shit. So you got to keep in mind, guys, you might want to be helpful. You might want to help a lot of people, but it might hurt you in the long run if you are too helpful. That can get you in serious trouble. We've seen it again in movies. We've seen it in real life. We've seen people help people and then they turn around and screw that person over. So you have to be, if you're going to help people, you got to be very, very careful, and you have to go about it very, very carefully. I'm not saying don't help people. I'm saying be very careful. Because things could absolutely go sideways for you, and you'll be in a world of hurt. You have to also keep in mind that people could trap you. A decoy. That can also happen, right? A small child on the road looking all hungry and shit, like Mobutu, sitting there like, like just fucking hungry. And then you want to go help the kid, and the kid pulls a knife or a gun on you, right? And then Mobutu's family jumps out of the trees and shit, and then they hijack your shit. So there is that as well. You don't want to fall for decoys. That movie, The Book of Eli with Denzel, when he heard the lady asking for help, and he immediately knew that it was a trap, but he wasn't going to go around it. He still went through anyway, and he fought. He fought those guys. Great scene. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't have gone through. I would have saw that it was a trap out of the gates. I will let Mobutu die. But you got to be careful about helping people out. And again, being tricked, bamboozled, that goes along with being too helpful. That person, guys, could sit there and have you believe that for days, or maybe a week, or weeks, having you believe you're helping them out, having you believe they're a righteous person, and then on the 13th day, right before the 2-week mark period, they turn around, stab you in the back, and take over your shit. Invite some hard-hitting dudes or people into your compound, and now they're taking your shit over. Which leads me into backstabbing. Backstabbing, guys, can happen on any level. It could be somebody you've been prepping with for years. The hammer drops. You go to the safe location for you two to meet. He gets there first, and this guy locks you out of everything. Manuel, thank you for the donation. And this guy locks you out of everything. Now you're screwed. And backstabbing is a real thing. There was, on a prepper forum I read probably 12 years ago, maybe 15. about 12, 15 years ago, around abouts. This guy teamed up with another dude to prep. And they were stashing stuff at the prep location. The other guy was stashing minimal supplies. Like he was bringing in a couple cans here. He bought in a couple flashlights and some batteries. Meanwhile, the other guy was going fucking crazy with stocking it up. He was stocking shit like, yo, again, like the end of the world was going to happen tomorrow. So, with all of that, a couple of months go by, about 6 months to close to a year. I can't remember what it was, but a few months go by, and the guy goes back to deliver more supplies to their prep location, and all of the preps are gone. Backstabbing. This is a guy he trusted. This is a guy he trusted for a little while. Though they weren't friends, they did meet in a prepper forum. I remember that much. So they got to know each other for a few months before they set out on this adventure. So when people contact me, like, hey, Angry, we could definitely do something together. In the back of my head, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't trust. I don't trust that easily, right? So it would take me a few years to get to know you before we even ventured into that. And this guy got taken. All his shit. Everything he dropped off. We're talking about firearms, ammunition, food, water, battery packs. They didn't have the portable generators, but there was a generator there. All of it gone. Gone. This guy disappeared in the wind. And I'm assuming the guy gave him a fake name and everything else. So this guy gathered what seemingly was a few years of supplies in a matter of 6 months to a year. So I would still be tracking this dude down. Chris C, yes, a werewolf prepper, aka a backstabber. So, I mean, yo, just imagine. You coming by, you're all happy and shit. You're like, yo, I'm a prepper. I got all my supplies. We're good to go. If shit pops off, we're good for 2-3 years. Then you open the door, you go to you're like, and then you start going through the house and everything's gone. Everything is gone. So talk about fucking having a heart attack on the spot or your heart skipping a beat. Your heart would skip 8 beats in alone, just opening the door and going, what the fuck? And he probably immediately knew what was up. Because there was no break-in. There was no sign of break-in. Nothing was broken. No windows, no anything. They could have at least made it look like a break-in. But then again, to clean the house out of all of the preps, he knew automatically who he was. So, karma is a bitch, and you would hope that this guy who stole all this shit will, something will happen to him. But, yo, that's insanity. I heard that, and I was like, I almost wanted to donate to this guy. But then I'm like, but this guy could be tricking me too. Then you fall into that trap. So, yes, guys, backstabbing could absolutely end you, get you in trouble. It can get you killed. Being tricked, being too helpful will get you hurt or killed. So you got to be very careful of who you trust. Because, again, you could trust them for years, and they could turn around and stab you in the back. Muddy edits. If you could pull it off, absolutely. If you could turn your apartment complex into a guarded compound, absolutely. Just make sure that it's made out of concrete. You want a concrete structure if you're going to do that. Because anything else is just going to burn. Because they'll burn you out of it. This here, I can make into a fighting fortress. All concrete, all the way up. You could set an apartment on fire, an apartment will burn itself out in that apartment. Unless it auto-exposes, then that's a different story. But, Sergeant 11 Bravo, exactly. Never let your guard down. Don't do it, guys. Now, something else that can kill you, and I'll explain why. Isolation. Isolation could also be the end of you. You could absolutely die during the apocalypse because of isolation. Because you trust nobody, this is like a double-edged sword. Because you trust no one, and you don't want anybody in your community, and you are an army of one, that you're doing it all on your own, all by yourself, that you end up isolating yourself and becoming lonely and depressed and eating your gun. Now, there was a book I was reading. I forgot which one I read, but they were on a scout mission, and they came across a prepper. And I only said that because this guy had everything. He had the food, he had the water, but he was sitting in front of his TV, which was no longer on because the power shut off, and he ate his gun. As they're going through the house, they saw the immense amount of food he had. I mean, he had an obnoxious amount of supplies. And the character turned to somebody else who was with him and turned around and goes, well, why did he do that? And he goes, because he was probably lonely and depressed. And they proceeded to take a lot of his food, and they left the rest of it there to come back later. Now, listen, a lot of us can isolate for months. And listen, a lot of us can isolate forever. We might not eat our weapon, right? We might not do it. But you're definitely going to have psychological issues. The human body can only be alone for so long before your psychosis starts to break. Now, some people are mentally stronger than others and can last longer, and some people can't. So you will not know who you are until you have done it. And when I mean isolation, guys, I'm talking about true isolation. I'm not talking about like living by yourself, but then you go downstairs and you interact with people. No. I'm talking about being in the woods on your own for months, not having any human contact for weeks at a time. Someone super chat said, my N word is no. Nice. So isolation can absolutely get you killed during the apocalypse, because people, they don't want to deal with other people. But if you have a family and you isolate, you will be fine. Absolutely. You got other people to argue with, you got other people to talk to, you got other people to gripe about or gripe with. But if you are truly a lone wolf, you're going to have problems. It's going to rear its ugly head some way, shape, or form. The human connection is what keeps us alive and keeps us going and what keeps us mentally sound. And a lot of people will sit there and go, I disagree with it. Try going a couple years being truly alone. Even being on here, you have some interaction. I'm talking about being truly alone with no interaction with people whatsoever. If you have just minimal minimal interactions with people, you are still interacting with people, and this is keeping your psychosis somewhat in check. But if you are going to be alone for months and years at a time, it will affect you. The human body is not able to go alone for a long period of time. I'm sorry to tell you guys that. A lot of you people, like, what's the name, said I'm a lone wolf. Falcon said you're a lone wolf. You will not last that long. I promise you this. It is just how the human race is built. We are built to be dependent on one another in some way, shape, or form. Want to group? Then Highland goes, you want to group up? It is what it is, guys. It's called human biology, and they've done numerous studies on this. We cannot be alone for a long period of time. And the longer you're without people, it also affects your health. Granted, if you do certain things like grounding, and I shit you not, you guys are going to break my balls for this, but grounding and or tree hugging, that can somewhat help with the psychosis of the human body, because you are still connecting to something. But if you don't do grounding and you don't tree hug, and there is science to tree hugging, look it up. Not that you'll catch me hugging a tree, because I'm not doing that shit. Nonetheless, there is a science to it. There is a science to grounding as well. Look both of them up. This is something, guys, that the Cancer Society and all these people don't want you to know about, by the way, because it aligns your energy and it does a lot of fixing of the body. Grounding does. So they're not going to tell you about it. And when you look up grounding, you have to dig to find out the benefits of grounding. And not some fly-by-night asshole who's like a guru all of a sudden in a TikTok video and go, look at how I ground. And a bitch is walking barefoot on fucking, on the ground. No. There's actual science to it. But, yeah. A lot of people don't know anything about that shit. The angry tree. Yeah, after I hug a tree, it'll be angry too. And it will be two angry motherfuckers in the wood. But, yeah, it's, There's a lot of ways you can, and the thing is, guys, you have to be able to write this list down and go about it accordingly. Running out of supplies. That's another way you can absolutely die during the apocalypse. Why? Well, because you miscalculated what you had. If you have 3 years of food, guys, and you're eating 3 times a day, I would ask you to drop your 3 times a day eating down to 1 time a day or 2 times a day. Let's go 2 times a day. 1 time a day, a lot of people can't handle eating 1 time a day. You can train the body to do that, by the way. But I would say, instead of eating 3 times a day, eat 2 times a day. So you saved all of this food for 3 years, 4 years of food for eating 3 times a day. You did the math. Now you drop that down to 2 times a day eating. You gave yourself, if I'm not mistaken, an extra year or a year and a half or some crazy number like that. You added to it. But miscalculation will screw you up. Running out of supplies will screw you up. If you start taking people in because you are that trustworthy and you want to be helpful, you got to do the math, guys, as you invite more people into your circle, how much food you have left. You can't go, I have 3 years worth of food, and then you invite another person. Now that person's eating, your supply of 3 years just dropped down to maybe 2 years or a year and a half. You added another person, now you dropped it down even more. You have to do the math, because if you don't, you run out of supplies, and now you're starving. Because if the apocalypse is in full swing, you're not going to be able to go out to the grocery store and get anything. You're not even going to be able to scout and get anything. You might get lucky with scouting and run into a prepper that offed themselves, or somebody who gathered a lot of supplies and offed themselves, or maybe they died of disease or something like that. You might get lucky in that aspect. I mean, and if you do, you are super, super lucky. Nonetheless, you have to calculate what you're eating and how much you're eating. Can the other person? You could do that as well. Dr. D, thank you for joining us. So Christian Prepper, the thing with caloric intake is that you are going to lose weight during this, right? So yes, calorie intake is important, but you should hit the sustainable calorie intake for humans. Now, the sustainable caloric intake is your last-ditch effort caloric intake. Like Christian Prepper said, if you are eating 1,800 calories a day, make sure you're sustaining that every day, or just about every day. I wouldn't say every day, but just about every day. Stress alone is going to have you lose weight. Not normally, but most people, when they're in a high-stress environment or during the apocalypse, if you're stressing out, you're not going to eat anyway. If you're a stress eater, don't do it to yourself. Don't burn through your shit saying, oh, I got enough. Don't stress eat. But caloric intake is important, but you want to hit the survivable. If you hit the survivable number, let's say it's 1,400 a day, you'll be okay, right? Anything below 1,000 is you're starving. You're starving yourself, like he said, but slowly. 14 to 1,500, it should be fine. If you are normally like me, I take in about 2,200 calories a day. At least I should be taking in 2,200 calories a day. I don't. I fluctuate. I would want to hit that goal a day. But if I want to lean out and stay lean, I should be down to about 2,000 calories a day. Sorry, scratch that. Your caloric intake should be dependent of your weight you are at currently, and that's what you want to sustain. If you're looking to drop weight during the apocalypse, then you want to lower the caloric intake. But Anne-Marie said 1,200. Right, so 1,200 to 1,400 calories a day, or caloric intake a day, is what you want to hit. Anything below 1,000 and you're starving. Just keep that in mind. Now, if you are like me, taking, again, 2,200 a day, and I drop down to 1,200 a day, I'm going to lose a considerable amount of weight and muscle, but I will sustain myself after that, right? I will look like Mobutu if I drop that low. Nonetheless, if you're looking for your food supply to last, then go ahead. Drop your caloric intake. Now, the other thing, guys, as soon as the apocalypse starts, again, I told you it's a slow burn, but when you get into the full swing of it, you should automatically start thinking where you're going to get more food. I don't give a fuck if you have 3, 4, 5, 10 years worth of food. Start thinking where you're going to get food moving forward. You want to stay ahead of that curve. You don't want to get to you don't want to get to 2 months of supply of food left, and then you're like, shit, what are we going to do? Don't do that. Stay ahead of the game. A lot of people like, oh, well, you know, a lot of people like, well, if I have enough, hopefully it'll end. You don't want to be hopeful about it. You don't want to guess. You don't want to sit there and go, well, what if it, you know, what if it only lasts 2 years? It could go on for 10, 20 years. Start thinking about where your next meal is going to come from as soon as the apocalypse is in full swing. Don't wait. Don't sit there and, you know, wait till the last minute. That is a deadly combination that's going to get you killed as well. And yes, you can start your garden now as well. The other thing about gardening is hopefully you're in a rural area and there's not a lot of people trafficking through there. Because if you are in a city environment and they happen to miss your home, they happen to miss your house or your apartment, but someone sees your garden, you could be in trouble. Oh, live free or die. All right, thank you for bringing that up. So we got a minute left. Let's talk about the serial killer. So apparently, guys, we have a serial killer in New York City. A lot of the bodies are being found on the waterway. They're being found in the same area or roundabouts the same area, which is in Brooklyn, by the way. Excuse me. So bone fragments found at New York City Waterfront Park in third chilling discovery near the Carousel. Bone fragments are discovered along the shore of Brooklyn Bridge Park on Saturday. I got to go there now. The third time this month that possible human remains were found in the waterfront park. Now, there was a guy found by the waterfront in a suitcase. They don't think that that was him. They think that was somebody else. Anyway, the latest grisly finding came shortly before 7 p.m. when cops received a 911 call about bone fragments on the rocks along the shore. City Medical Examiner's office was dispatched to the scene and testing the bone. Human skull and other bones were found along the Brooklyn Park shoreline twice earlier this month. He is leaving a trail of breadcrumbs for them to find him. Because serial killers, like we all know, they want to get caught, and he's challenging the police. Google censorship. No, this guy's on he's got a track record so far. The first batch of bones, including a skull, were found near the iconic Jane Carousel. Look up the Jane Carousel. Pretty cool carousel, by the way. Shortly before 9 a.m. August 19. 2 days later, human bones were found around the same area at 12:30 at night. According to law enforcement, police suspects remains belong to one person. So they're leaving. Oh, okay. If it's the same person, this guy, he could have cops putting a puzzle together, a human puzzle. I like it. In January, NYPD's not making any further comments. In January, police found the body of a 13-year-old girl lying face down along the shores near the Fulton Ferry Landing, where she had washed up at the park. Again, I don't think they identified the girl. Let's go in real quick and see if they identified the girl. 13-year-old girl found dead in NYC Park shoreline. This was back in January. Could they get this fucking ad out of here? Some fucking gay-ass Korean band just jumped on my screen. And this was, this was last year in January, 2023. A body of a 13-year-old girl found on the shoreline. Passerbys made the shocking discovery around 8:30 a.m. Investigators believe the girl washed up there. Her name was not released as her family hadn't been notified yet. The medical examiner will determine her cause of death. That was back in January 16, 2023. There was no update to this article. That is very strange. Anyway, with that being said, guys, that's definitely a serial killer. And or maybe he's not a serial killer, but he's having the police put together a puzzle, a human puzzle. All right. That being said, guys, we're going to go off the air now. Thank you for joining me tonight. As per usual, I always appreciate it. I appreciate the donations. I will do a video on the serial killer and the puzzling of this human that they're trying to put together. I believe it belongs to the same guy. I'm pretty sure they believe that as well. But anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope a lot of you follow me over to the Angry Truths channel. We are going to be talking about the digital ID that started in Australia and how they're going about it. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining me. Someone's asking what's for dinner. I already ate dinner at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's why I have this headache.